So today we're going to be unloading a new group of belted Galloway calves. So it's about midday. We just got home with this group. I picked them up about 2 hours ago. We're going to get them unloaded here into this holding pen off the lean-to, let them sit in here and get used to their new farm, just kind of unload them and watch out. So we got these guys unloaded in here. They're over there eating that hay. I put some hay down for them. They've really been starting to eat on it. I went ahead and filled up their water and gave them some of that bait feed and shook the buckets. That way we can start that process with them. But what we want to do now is just back off, really put no pressure on them, let them get used to their new surroundings. So the new Belties are really calmed down. It's been about 24 hours they've been in this pen. They're starting to get really accustomed to the place. They're not really running around, running away from me as much. But right now I'm having some more issues with the rest of the belted Galloway. What they seem to keep on doing is busting through my water gap down here by the bank barn. Well, I guess I spoke too soon. I was out here filling up the water. You can see there's still 3 back there. One went ahead and jumped through this feed panel. So he's back in here somewhere behind all these round bales. So what I gotta do is open this up here and try to run him out from around back in here, back into the pen. I don't even know how. You can kind of see him moving back in there. There's his back leg. How am I gonna get here? Huh. So you can see him down there. I'm on top of the round bales. He's stuck in there. So the only way for him to get out is to back up. He's in between these 2 sections of the barn. He took out a piece of the barn tin there when he went through it. But I need to get down here and back him up so that way he can come out. He's basically free there. Never mind, he just went ahead and got out on his own. Okay. Now to move him back over into his pen. So I got him right here. What I want to do is just kind of crack these 2 gates open so that way he can go back over into this side where I can get him back into his pen over here. In there. So we got them all together again back here in their pen put back together. Here I was thinking, man, these guys are pretty calm. They might be all right to be turned out a little bit here in this little electric fenced in area I have tomorrow, but I think I'm gonna wait on that. They're still pretty high strung. I also don't know if they're so high strung right now because, like I said, with them guys here busting through the water gap, they're hanging out right here next to their pens for the most part, making a lot of commotion. And of course, like these guys here, they miss their herd they came from. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but man, they're pretty high strung as soon as I started filling up the water. But I see what I need to do to get this fixed, so that way we can avoid him being able to jump through there, because he's not even the smallest one of the group. So if he's getting through there, no problem. I'm pretty sure one of these small ones will also. I've kept an eye on him here for about 10 minutes now, watching him walk around. He seems to be perfectly normal, doesn't seem to be injured. I checked him out. There's no cuts or anything like that on him that I've seen. So I think he's gonna be fine. I think he just got back there in a tight spot and tore up a bunch of stuff getting out. So going forward tomorrow, I need to work on this feeder panel, and I need to work on that water gap, so that way I can move the rest of the belted Galloways back into the back pasture, so that way they can stay put where they need to be, and I don't have to worry about these guys busting out of their pen once I fix that feeder panel. So we're back here in the calf pen. It's the next morning. We're gonna fix this feeder panel. The calves, they're down at that end of the pen. They were running around as soon as I walked up. They don't wanna be around me right now for some reason. They're pretty skittish, and that's fine. That's good, they'll stay down there and be out of the way. So what I've come up with to fix this feeder panel, I have this Pig 36-inch panel here. It's just some wire. I was using it down in the bank barn there to hold the sheep in one of the pens, but since I cleaned out the barn and consolidated all the sheep into that one pen, I don't need it anymore. So it's about 10 feet long, so it'll fit perfect on this gate. I'm gonna wire it from the top down, and what that should do is give them enough room to get their heads through to still access the hay, but not enough room to get their whole body through. And what I like to do whenever I'm wiring up these panels or gates, like this is the end I'm wiring first, so I got it set at my level I wanted. So I got all these little C-clamps, and I'll just use these C-clamps to clamp onto the pipe gate there or whatever I'm hooking to, and then I can hook this wire through it. And then that way when I need 3 sets of hands, that C-clamps really come in handy. So we got this project knocked off the list for the day. I got a little bit of adjustment left, so if I got to bring it down a little bit, I can just come in and take off the wire and drop it. I think this will work out pretty good because it really minimized, you know, now they got enough room to get their head through, but I just don't feel like they got enough room to get their whole body through at this height, but I may have to lower it. I don't know, we'll have to see, because that one's still kind of small. And these are my favorite kind of problems to fix, because I was able to take this wire panel that we had on hand that we weren't using and modify this feed panel. That way these guys can still get their heads through and eat, but whenever we get other cattle in, I can just take this wire panel off and it goes back to its original intended purpose. I didn't have to spend a lot of time building something or modifying the feed panel itself. So I think going forward, I'm actually going to just leave this wire panel here out with this feed panel. That way if I have to make any adjustments going forward, I already have this. It's a perfect size, so it'll work out good. So I ended up getting them back in their pen last night, and I figured I'd come over today to fix this panel. And when I got here today, I came around the corner, and one of the steers got scared so bad that he jumped through the same hole that they've been getting out. And when they get out, what they end up doing is usually just knocking all this hay that I have for them all around, spreading it around. So then I got to knock it back up against the feed panel and open up the gates and run them back in the pen. And I don't want to continue doing that, and I don't want one to get out and get injured trying to get back in this pen or get out of this lean-to. So what I ended up doing was dropping this panel that I have wired onto the feed panel down one whole rung, so it's about 4 inches lower. So right now after I lowered it down, this is the current height that we have that they're able to stick their head through, and you can see access their hay right there. And I'm willing to test this out to make sure it's the right height, because I put it all the way down and I wasn't sure that was enough room for them to get their head through to access their hay. But I will say this has been the most skittish group of steers that we've had so far. I don't really know why. They just never have really warmed up to me. They've been here a week at this point, and they're running around pretty much just like it was the first day that they've ever seen me. So we're still leaving them here in this little penned up area, trying to calm them down and get them used to their surroundings still. And with our other project of the water gap being torn down, I looked at it and I realized I'm going to need more materials than I thought to fix it. So that's going to take another week or so to gather up all that material and get time to come over here and fix that. So we're going to have to put that one off. But we really hope this fixes the problem of the steers being able to jump through this panel, and we hope they calm down and start getting used to us, just because it'll make it a little bit easier on us and probably a lot easier on them. Well, that'll wrap up this video. Thanks for watching.